Nate here, and my question to you is, who is your webmaster? Now, a lot of people, they don't even know what a webmaster is. They don't know maybe who's in charge of their website, or maybe they do know. Maybe they have someone internally that maintains the website. But my question is less about the content on your website and more about the domain or the control panel behind the website. Okay, so when I say webmaster, I'm talking about the control behind it. And why is this important? Well, let me give you a recent case example. We had a client who was maintaining their own website, their own webmaster, and that's fine. But they didn't realize that they had to also maintain the domain. Now, let me pause for a minute and explain domain and website, just so we have a good, clear understanding. It's very similar to having a plot of land and a house. You may lease the land or buy the land, the property, and you may build the house separately. Well, the land that you leased or that you purchased is the domain. It's the actual presence on the internet. It's the actual property, the address, okay, that you get to. The house is the content, the website, the web page, the pictures, the text. That's the web page. Now, managing the web page, that's, you do it on your own, you have someone else do it, and we can help you with that, but that's less of the point here. For a webmaster, the domain is really, really critical, and here's why. The domain has its own logon, its own security, its own access, okay? And if that got compromised, somebody could go in there, they could change your website, they could put on, I had a client who had some pretty obscene content that got placed on the website, and they had changed the login so they couldn't get it and change it. It was a pretty bad situation. But also, someone could get on and compromise the domain account, and they could be sending out emails from your domain. Okay? Spam, technically it's legitimate because they have access. When they send off those emails, they can put any name they want as the sender. And that can create a whole gamut of issues for your email users. And here's how that happens. Just like if you were to send a letter today, here's an envelope. I can put any sender that I want on there. I'll put Bill Gates on there. I can put any recipient that I want on there. Put John on there. Now, if I go down to the post office and I send this letter, who did it come from? Did it come from Nathan or did it come from Bill? Well, there's two senders, see? There's the sender that it actually came from, and there's the sender that it says it came from. In this case, I'm spoofing this letter. So if I send this out to John, and John gets it, he's going to say, oh, it's from Bill, right? If John's address isn't available and it gets returned, then it's going to go back to the sender, right? To Bill. Now, if I put down 123 Main Street, it's going to go back to 123 Main Street, the sender, not the actual sender. You see? And if you ever get an email from yourself, this is exactly how they're doing it. They're spoofing the name. Well, in the scenario above, when they've actually had compromise to your account, it's not really even spoofing because they have access. They can send out under whatever name they want. And if they send out all kinds of spam to people who don't actually exist, say they send out 100,000 emails a day, which is totally normal, 1% doesn't go through, and 1,000 emails get returned. Well, those aren't really spam. Those are undeliverable returned emails. And they're going to go back to whatever account was compromised. We have a client now that's getting that, 1,000 emails a day, undeliverable. And no anti-spam software, no anti-spam protection will control against that, will prevent that, because they're technically undeliverables. They're not actually spam. So having someone maintain the domain to make sure that it is still in control, to make sure that the security is maintained, right? Someone's taking care of the security. Someone's checking the logs. Someone's making sure the passwords are secure. Most people that manage on websites, they're not checking the domain. We see a lot of common issues with no one checking the domain. See, and as a webmaster, that is a responsibility that we take on. And we monitor the domain, and we maintain the domain, and the security, and the logs, and the access, and the logons, and everything that goes with the domain, we take care of. So my question to you again is, who is your webmaster?